Welcome to my new channel, Overcoming Multiple Sclerosis with Connie. We'll be working on a three-part series discussing nutrition that will address the deficiencies that are caused by multiple sclerosis, and we'll be doing a low-pack exercise. But today I'm going to focus on my story. And my story starts back in, I'd say, August of 1998.
Mom?
I had been experiencing TIAs, mini strokes. And towards the mid-August of 1998, I was admitted into emergency with a blood pressure of 47/32. They immediately put me in a room by myself, and I remember feeling really, really cold. I had really bad chills. It was like from deep inside, not the skin, but deep inside. I could feel it in my bones even. And I guess I'd been there for a short time when I remember they were poking, they couldn't get the little finger probe to read my oxygen level. So they inserted a needle, and that was attached to some monitor, and I was left in this cold white room attached to all these monitors. And a short time after that, I must have flatlined, because I remember I was suddenly warm. I no longer had the chills. I wasn't freezing. I wasn't shivering like I had been doing. And I remember looking down. I could feel myself leaving, my spirit leaving my body. And I remember looking down at myself and thinking, wow, what's going on? And then that sense, I was in this warm, it was like I had walked into the sunlight, and I was walking like directly to the sun, but I wasn't walking to the sun. It was just a peaceful, warm feeling. And then suddenly I was back in my body, and I remember tears rolling down my face. I was crying. Because I was really tired. I had been dealing with the multiple sclerosis for a few years already. It took them 6 years to diagnose me to begin with. I had to go through all this testing. I had to fight with the insurance company to get all these approvals, all these pre-authorizations. Anybody going through this knows the trauma of having to go through the red tape because of the insurance companies. They don't want to pay, even though they've been paid to pay. But that's another story in itself. So I remember waking up and I was crying. And I saw the doctor from the emergency room. He was on the phone. And he was talking to my neurologist and letting my neurologist know that I had expired. And they were filling out the paperwork, But I got up and I picked my head up and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And the machines are beeping all over the place again, and the doctor puts the phone down. I see him literally just toss the phone onto the counter, and he comes running back into my room, and he's got his stethoscope, and they're doing all this, he's checking me, and he's asking me all these questions, putting lights in my eyes, and they couldn't understand what was going on because, I'd already expired to them. Anyway, um, so when I came out of that, my doctor ordered a spinal tap because they couldn't figure out why my organs and all my bodily functions were shutting down. I was only 37 at the time. So they ordered the spinal tap, and we had that done in September. And mid-September, the doctor calls me into her office, and I take my two sisters with me for support. Plus, I couldn't drive. I wasn't driving at the time. I wasn't driving, I wasn't walking, I was in a wheelchair, and I wasn't eating any solid foods. I was totally dependent for all my ADLs. I was a total ADL assist. All my activities of daily living, everything. Anyway, she calls us into her office, and she's so sad. I knew immediately that it wasn't going to be good. And she said, she's saying with a cracked voice that she apologized. She said she was sorry, but she'd done everything that she could do, and there wasn't anything else that they could medically do for me except make me comfortable. So she let me know at that time that, and this is September of 1998, and she let me know that I would not survive to live to see May of 1999. And my sisters are crying, and I'm like, wow, I was like, what's going on? I'm only 37 years old. I'm too young. So I said, oh, hell no. I'm too young for this. I'm not going to just sit here and receive that and accept it as my destiny, because I couldn't believe that. They couldn't figure out how to stop it. So, and I had a shoebox full of prescribed meds. Well, I had to figure out how I was going to do this, because I was too young to go anywhere, and I wasn't having it. So I started smoking cannabis, and I gradually began to wean myself off of all of the medications. I did, however, stay on the prednisone because I had gained. I got up to 200 pounds from all the meds. So I had to take action. I had to take control of my well-being because the doctors had given up on me. And to be honest with you, my family had given up on me too. Everyone was just waiting for me to expire. What a word, right? Expire. Might as well say, hey, she's dying. Leave her alone. We'll just watch it happen. But I said, oh, hell no. So I stayed on the prednisone, and I turned that fat into muscle. And we'll make sure you click on my like, and click on subscribe, and then click on that little bell, because that little bell will give you notifications when my new videos will be coming out. Okay, back to my story. So I started working out with just prednisone, and I was on a lot. I was taking 80 milligrams of prednisone 3 times a day. And the doctor kept telling me that she could increase that, and I kept saying, no, that's okay, this is already enough. I thought, I was bouncing off the walls. So I began to, as I started to work out and I got strong, I had to start. First I started with the walking, because I couldn't walk. I was literally in a wheelchair. I had one of those electric wheelchairs, I remember one day my uncle came over and we went into town, and he was so upset because people, they just they just dismiss you. They see a person in a wheelchair and they'll just walk right in front of them. And he would get so upset about it. So one day he came over and he brought me one of those bicycle horns with the rubber ball. And he told me, now every time somebody gets in front of you, you squeeze that thing and make them get out of your way. He was very upset. It was like we become invisible because we're handicapped or we have challenges. So I had to start walking again, and I had to teach myself because I'd been in that wheelchair for for 2 years, I believe I was in that thing. So I had to gradually teach myself how to get out of that wheelchair. And I began by just standing up a little at a time, just standing up a little at a time, and then just taking a few steps away from the wheelchair, but I always made sure that I had something in front of me that I could hold on to, just in case. So gradually, I became stronger and stronger, and then I was walking with the support of the wall. I would hang onto the wall. I would be right next to the wall if I needed the help. And I did that until I felt stronger. And then I went outside and started walking around in the yard, and just big loops every day. I made it a routine. I set my mind to do it. Well, I wasn't going to die. I wasn't ready. So I set my mind to do it, and I made it part of my daily routine, just like I was brushing my teeth and washing my face every morning after my cup of coffee, of course. So then I graduated from walking the yard, right? And I started walking down the street. And I was walking around the block. And then I did that for a while until I felt comfortable enough to walk to the park. And I would walk back home. And then I started walking to the school. And I'm walking back home. And I did that until I was like, I think I'm ready to graduate. So I started walking to Coyote Hills. I come from the East Bay, a little place called Union City. Well, it's not so little anymore, but Union City. So Coyote Hills is in between Newark and Union City. And I was hiking Coyote Hills every single day. Every day. Once I built that strength up, then I started doing the workouts. Then I got those little 3-pound weights, and I just started doing just little things, starting out with just three sets of everything for a while. And well, now today, I've built my muscles up. I'm not on any medication. I do seek the assistance of cannabis as needed. But it comes, all you need to do these days is go and see a doctor, and he'll give you a letter, and you get your card, and you're good to go. And you go to the stores. They have stores now. Can you imagine? Now they have stores. People of my generation would have never imagined something like this happening. But there it is. Then you buy the edibles, and they help you. They will really help you. So here I am today. It is, October 2017, and I was supposed to have expired, like I'm like a label on some kind of food product or something, expired by, used by whatever. So it's possible. This whole thing that I'm talking about right now is possible. If I can do it, and I wasn't supposed to, I'm not supposed to be here. Everybody was surprised, and like I said, my my own family gave up on me. They just watched me. My sisters used to have to, blend my food. I couldn't even swallow. It was not pretty. That's all I can say. It was not pretty. And if you've been diagnosed with a chronic condition, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pretty when you get to that point. So let me help you get to this point where I'm at today. So don't forget, check out my videos. Don't forget to click the like button, click on subscribe, and on that little bell, click on there so you can get my notice.